Let's go. Let's do this. We
All
are
right.
hyped.
Excellent. Well, welcome to. Oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna start again. All right, we are taking a look at Walkies, and I'm joined by the. Is this the entire development team?
There is one person missing, Dragona. She made the music. I think that she is in the chat right now.
Okay.
But she will not be joining us in the voice.
Okay, no trouble. Well, thank you all so much for coming out today. I'm going to go through everyone who's here with us, and you can just talk a little bit about your background and your role on this project. So, starting with Adrian.
Yes, I was a graphic designer for the background graphics, actually, for the most parts. Yeah, and for my background, I'm not so really a programming guy. So the other two persons are doing the programming for the most parts. But yeah, it's worked pretty much good out. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. And then Niels?
Yeah, as Adrian has already mentioned, Patrick and I, we did most of the programming work, most of the design work. So I don't know if it's okay if I elaborate a bit. Like we,
Yeah, by all means.
this isn't our first rodeo. Let's say it like that. I think we started actually with the GMTK Game Jam in what was it, 2020?
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, and we
Like we did some stuff beforehand. Like we're both computer scientists. Like we both studied at university. That's where we know each other from. And we started doing like game development as a means to test our programming skills during our studies. Like we're both done with our masters now, so now we're just using it as a means to keep at it, to keep programming.
Nice. Yeah, I think
I
game
think we
jams are.
established a good team here. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love you guys.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's great to be able to participate in game jams every once in a while, just to get that opportunity to flex those game development skills.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Then I'm watching the stream. Have you played before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. just freeballing here. Nice.
Yeah, that's I got to admit, it's. You all started approaching me with questions of like, oh, can we send you some graphical assets, like to all this like professional level stuff. It's like that would be amazing if I did things that way. Sadly, I am not like that big of a streamer. I just do my best to kind of have people on, play the game, give my sort of first impressions. So what you're seeing, yes, is indeed the first time that I'm playing the game, and any confusion or anything that results as that is just kind of part of the show. So.
You're doing great. Yeah.
I think I'm getting the basic idea. It helps that it's a not that many different buttons to press. It's just movement and the sort of E button interact, which I love, by the way, the little touch of actually having the E icon on the screen. It helps a lot. Thank you for the posture check, Dark Demon Gamer. My posture is indeed in need of correction. Okay, and then, sorry, did you have anything you wanted to say?
I kind of stole the spotlight already. I think, Patrick, it's your turn to introduce yourself.
Well, yeah,
bullet point over.
Basically, I'm the all-rounder on the project. Like, I do lots of programming. I did the character art, like the little animations, the dog. I'm most of the time I do the player scripting, like the player classes. That's usually my job in our game dev projects. And then Niels, he takes over the interactions and everything in the world, so we have it nice and everyone knows what he's doing.
The UX and all the other little stuff. Yeah, and of course Adrian did all the beautiful artwork. I think also the level design, the level layout.
the level design, the level layout, as a background. All you see is we did a little tile set there. So and a paintbrush like that you can just draw the streets and draw the walkways into the level design. So yeah,
So-
I did that also. Yeah.
Nice. So was that using Unity's like built-in sort of tiling tool?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
We had, I think it was like it was the very hot summer, and we met actually in my place, in my flat, just to coordinate, streamline the process. I think it's a bit more relaxed if we do it in person. Hey, you did it! Good job. I have this little whiteboard, and there we like outlined the level design, what we would like the level to look like, the general layout. Now that you've played it, we can, I think, get a little bit more in depth. Yeah, you have like this owner, and like with the general idea was there, I guess, from the beginning. I don't know how.
Yeah, we discussed like what are some interesting aspects to look at this theme of role reversal. And at some point, someone said, "Oh, you know, like how sometimes when a dog gets really excited, it's like the dog has a walk with the owner instead of the other way around." And this role reversal, like this loop, then came pretty fast. Like we had this idea, okay, you can break out and drag the owner behind you, and then he drags you back into his own path, and then you have this freedom and no more freedom loop, basically. And then we were pretty much done with the basic gameplay loop after the first day, and then we tried to play test it. So we got a friend of ours to play it. And so first we had the owner walk around this town once and then return home, and then the game was over. But we noticed that our playtester, he basically didn't like that. He just wanted to run around the whole time. So we scrapped this idea that your owner has to walk a whole path, and instead you you just collect something. So then we came up with these. Okay, you can collect something like bones, and if you collect all of them, then you've won. So the ending of the game is your own doing. You have control over the ending of the game.
Yeah, it came a little late to the project, like you already said. I think it was like we didn't really know at first what was like the win condition. I think at first it was like some kind of auto scroller, basically, that the owner walks home, and then it's done, and you get some kind of score, like with what you've interacted and or something like that. Do you guys remember like how we got this idea of getting the pets and breaking loose? I think that was already programmed, right?
There was from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was the
okay,
first idea, and we kept it. We had a lot more ideas,
Some
of course.
interactions, yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas of what to do, what to interact with, but
Yeah,
I think
like other
everybody
dogs
gets
and
late. Yeah.
anything to interact. And we basically we implemented some, and then we just didn't implement the others, and then was like, okay, this is feature. This is the features. I think we actually scoped it pretty well this time.
Yeah.
Usually
from
our
the
game jams.
previous projects that a simple game is better than a complex game for this game jams, because most people want to play a game as fast as possible in a game jam. So get to the idea, what are the controls, what is the purpose of this game, what's the aim for this game. So we kept it really short this time. So yeah, this is the result of this.
So basically, if you've noticed, like technically you cannot lose in this game. This is a deliberate decision. Eventually, you will get all the bones, and you will complete the task. Because yeah, I think it was also part of this streamlining process. Because let's assume this win condition doesn't exist and the game ends the moment the owner returns home. Then it's like a fixed time, and the game, maybe it drags, maybe it's losing its appeal, its charm. So we were like, okay, yeah, let's just give the player the freedom. And as you can see, maybe we can talk a little bit about the owner AI. We have placed some specific waypoints in the level that the owner will walk towards. So basically, if you do it like if you break free, as you do right now, and when this little zoomy meter ends, then the owner will get into the normal walking behavior. And you will see that the owner is basically just following a pre-programmed path, and if you deviate from this path by seizing control, well, we have noticed that it's also a bit janky in the first version, where it was like this auto scroller, because basically you could reset your progress. Like assume as you do right now, and then you return to the level entrance, and then you have to wait for the owner to walk all this distance again. That's very frustrating. So we were like, no, let's grab that. So huge shout out to other playtesters, both of them.
All of the both of them, yeah. So by that, do you mean that the owner would try to sort of walk back to the last point that they had touched on their path before continuing, as opposed to finding the nearest point on the path and continuing from there?
I think in the very first...
exactly. That was the initial plan. And then we noticed that there was no fun, because the player doesn't care where the owner is going to. It's just about that he's dragging the dog behind him, right? So one interesting quirk that we had was we basically, except for these waypoints, have no pathfinding in the game. So you may have noticed that the owner he can walk through trees and through cars. So there's no pathfinding, except for the very simple stuff. So we actually had to modify our first map a bit, because it had corners and you could go around buildings, and then it's the owner started to drag you through buildings. So instead of implementing pathfinding, we just decided to make the map without internal collisions. So the collisions are only on the size of the map, or very simple, like cars and trees. So we could keep the design easier, and so we don't have to fix as much with pathfinding.
Yeah.
Same also, with it was confusing for the people that they get dragged over the complete map if the waypoint is on the opposite side of the map. So this gets us a smaller way to the next waypoint.
Yeah.
So you don't get dragged so low.
Yeah, as you're doing it right now, there is a little bit of, I think the collision only applies to the player. Yeah, I think now the owner is trying to get back to the last waypoint, or to the nearest waypoint. Oh, also in the first version, I think you couldn't re-interact with these interactables that we've called them, like the tree or the cats or something like that. I think that now they have like a cooldown where you can use them again. I think that's a bit more intuitive.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you can't just keep using the same one over and over again, but it does also make sense that you can at some point go back and reuse it, because otherwise you'd have to kind of keep a mental tally of which ones you have and haven't used, and theoretically you could introduce an end condition to the game because you've just exhausted all the things you can ever build up zoomies on.
Yeah, true. I think that's also part of this first idea where it was basically the auto scroller, and it was like how many wayside attractions can you visit before it's over. And actually, you are playing the web version. I think that's like the post-jam version.
Yes.
With a bit more updated graphics. I think what did we do, Patrick? Do you
Yeah,
recall?
I added some more different humans in there. We usually had only one guy, and he was copy pasted all the time because I was having trouble with the Unity animation system and doing like animations for every variant. Couldn't do that in time, so it was all just one clone walking around. Now we have 4 different people there.
And
I
is
think we
the
also
owner... Oh, sorry.
yeah, I think we also added a compass in the end because I was asked by some players that if there's like 5 bones left, it shows you. Hopefully, it works. I'm not sure if I tested it. It should show you where the last ones are.
Yeah, and there were like some interaction quirks where you could sometimes it wouldn't register something like stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. We're down to the last 2 bones now, so where's the compass system supposed to display?
It should be around the dog, but apparently it's not displaying again. It was supposed to be in the jam release, and then it didn't work either. It's one of these features that just doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
It's like always playtesting the end is always like the final bit of a game. Like
Yeah, I think in the last half hour we added these little brush splashes when you walk through the hedges.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you used to have collisions, and
Oh,
then
wait, there
we
they are.
removed them.
I can see them
Oh,
now.
yeah,
These
yeah,
little
yeah.
like
Oh, it
crossfaded.
works.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Very, very light.
Yeah. And there are actually, I think, 3 ways to end this. If you're in this end stage, this is like one canonical ending where you just run away.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, I'm free now. I'm just exiting the map. The other ending is you can actually return home if you remember where that is, and then you get basically the same ending like Fade to Black, but there are multiple triggers for that. But in our head canon, these are the canon endings where you either escape, you're a bad dog, or you're a good dog, and you just return home. And then the last ending is just timing out at the end. I think you get like 15 seconds, and if they're over, it's also game over.
Yeah. So the endings basically came when we were wondering how can we take the central idea of the game. How can we bring it to an end? Like we don't want to just return home because that's kind of anticlimactic. So we thought, okay, this idea of freedom, it's central to what we're doing. So giving the dog freedom to do what he wants is like the perfect ending. And then we thought about, yeah, okay, he runs away. That's the ending. But one of our playtesters then was confused by the ending because she was just running around, wondering, okay, what am I supposed to do now? I don't want to leave because I like the humans and I like my owner. And then she went back to the house, but we hadn't programmed this ending in. And we thought it was really sweet that she tried to go back to the house that she spawned at. So we made that an ending. So that's the implicit ending that the player can interpret for himself, or how he interprets the game, basically.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether when you collect the last bone, I thought it was just like you had 15 seconds no matter what. I wasn't necessarily aware that I could go one way or the other.
Yeah,
it's like more like reacting like what the player feels personally about the game. Like some are maybe very annoyed by always being dragged behind, so they just want to run away. Others just want to interact with the things around, so they just stay in the park. And others feel like they just want to return home because they think that this the situation is a nice situation for the dog. So yeah, this having these endings be very, 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 very personal to the player, or like very that the player just feels what they're supposed to be doing now is I think works really well.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a form of self-expression at this end.
Like the player is not even supposed to know that he can choose now, but he's just supposed to like do whatever he feels like, and that's the freedom.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we've kind of gone over some of the questions I would have been asking. Like we've covered the sort of inspiration process, and we've touched upon some of the ways that like the character controller and the AI of the owner works. But maybe you can talk a little bit about was there a particularly difficult problem that you encountered during the course of the jam, and how did you solve that? And if you each have an answer to that, we can go through them one by one. So perhaps starting with Adrian?
Yeah, the hedge was one of the problems we encountered. So that the layer where the hedge is in the foreground or the background. Should the dog walk over the hedge or behind the hedge? How is it visually looking? So yeah, in the end we decided the dog is going through the hedge by these particles. This was the last minute decision, but it turns out really well. It gets the impression that the dog is walking through the hedge, so it feels really natural that there is no collision on the hedge, and also that the dog is walking through it. That's one thing we changed midterm. Yeah, the first map I produced was on the right side, where we have a lot of houses, but we realized we couldn't handle this collision thing, so we needed to reapply the map on the left side and make the large park area there. So yeah, there's less collision, and we don't get in trouble with any collision there. So yeah, now we have the cool looking park in the middle, so it's a nice addition.
And is the collision just like physics based?
Yeah, basically. So the I would say the Unity physics was my biggest enemy once again. The player is basically it's let me think. It's that one is physically simulated, so that is getting velocity vectors, etc. And so it does have some like weight to it. So the stop is handled by the physics itself. While the humans are all kinematic bodies, so that's two whole different physics ways of doing it, basically, mixed together, which doesn't always work that well. But yeah, it was these design constraints that the humans can walk through everything because they are not supposed to be stuck on anything. The dog has to react to some collisions, and yeah. So getting the physics to work and feel correct. That was
I think
that
I remember. Oh, it's the house on the right.
One house to the right.
Okay.
Let's see if you can get it in time. We are a little bit behind on the stream. Oh, you got it. Great. I remember a lot of testing and getting mad at the physics again. Especially with the leash. I think you could demonstrate that. I don't know if it's even that extreme in the build. You can like, if you go in a left right motion while dragging the human, I think you can bounce them quite a bit around if you really
I fixed it.
You fixed it.
When the human is bouncing around, he's physically simulated. So when you're dragging him behind, And in our first tests, you could it didn't have a maximum speed, so you could just build up speed by just bouncing him left and right and left and right. And at some point, he just snapped out of the map and was just catapulted.
Yeah, you just kind of like slingshot him.
Yeah, exactly. And then we added a max speed to the physics simulation for this physics buddy. And this is how it works now. So it still has this effect that you can whip him around. Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
This is something that we wanted to avoid. Yeah. But yeah, okay, it works.
I think we had a lot of like these edge cases, and in the playtesting session, they all came up and we got them addressed.
Yeah. So at some distance, it just teleports you back to the player.
No, that makes
so you
sense.
don't get stuck, because we used to have these the houses, and they could trap you, so we wanted to avoid that.
Yeah, so I guess, do you have any plans for the, well, you made a sort of like post-gen version to kind of clean up some of the things you noticed in the actual like course of the jam. Do you have any plans for making any additions or changes to the game post what we see here?
Actually, I think it was always planned as just like a one-off thing, and I think the design itself just it doesn't lend itself to more content, because like we're planning for like maximum 5 minutes of gameplay and designed everything around that, and I think just adding stuff to it would distract from like what it is right now.
Yeah, of course. Like you could like add more entities to interact. Like I think that's always a thing, but or maybe even add more maps. But then what new does this bring to the table?
With new maps, you must add new features to the game.
Yeah.
So you could potentially make fewer maps, more maps, so that you have more different biomes or something like that. That you have more flexible options to get your zoomies in, or other things to work out. Maybe your dog can drive cars or something like that. Something crazy.
What would it add? Like I think we've already, like as Patrick has said, like I think we've already squeezed out a lot of the potential of the idea.
Yeah.
I think anything more was just distract or just not feel like that fun anymore. So I think we always started to plan these jam games to just be what they are as jam games, and never to think about, oh, we could in the end add something, because then you start planning for, oh, this post jam version could have this and this, and then your design suffers for it. I think. So if I think it's better that that you plan just for having it the most fun it can be for the 5 minutes someone's gonna play it, and not think about like, oh, I'm gonna sell it on Steam in a year. At least for me. So we're all hobbyists. We don't plan on making money with it anytime soon. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I don't know if we have linked it in the description, but we have all the code, all the assets on GitHub. We did it all ourselves. We even did the music and the sound effects ourselves.
Nice.
Especially the graphics.
Should be all available somewhere on GitHub if people would like to improve it themselves. Go ahead.
That's super cool.
There's no GitHub link. I think we will add it. That's one thing for the future. The GitHub link.
Yeah.
There we go. Version 1.0000001.
Exactly.
Added GitHub link to the page.
Yeah. Actually, we have their archive to the actual jam version if people are interested, but you don't really miss out. Oh no, that's like in the download section. No, that's like the updated version, right? Oh no, that's
Um,
the GMPK build.
build
Ah,
web.
okay.
Oh yeah. I added this as a download.
Nice. Yeah, like if people are interested, but again, you don't really miss out.
Yeah.
It's basically the same experience.
No, I've done the same thing where I sort of upload, like, here's the version that you could have played if you wanted to experience it in the jam, just for posterity's sake, because sometimes the changes I make are more significant, but it's usually an improvement. So I know what you mean. Like, why would you really want to play the older version? But, it's there.
I feel like it's nice to have for archival sakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. The end screen that you see here, maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
We were like in the end, okay, what how will how will the game end? What will it like? What will the experience be like? Will it be just like, I don't know, like fade to black, start again, whatever? And then we were like, hey, we have all these interactions and they all have animations, and that's like coming back to the point, like what's to add? Like we were like, okay, what could we add? Like more dogs to interact with in the park, maybe some other people walking their dog, and then we were like, okay, nah, that's taking a lot of effort because we need to add more animations to it and more sprite work. Yeah, I think we all know know the situation. So we were like, okay, maybe we could just, I don't know, like count this and do it like as a personal leaderboard or something like that, where people can share, where we can drive engagement, where people could post their score in the comments or something like that. But nobody did.
Yeah, I was curious.
Yeah, it's not a score attack game. I think most people were pretty happy that it's a relaxing game. It's not like
Yeah. But still, I think I did it. I programmed it, and I was like, hey, maybe it's nice to have. It's better than just a black screen. Just to reflect. I don't know. I have the stream muted, but if you're streaming the audio, we have, I think, 3 audio tracks in the game. There's like one for the gameplay, but like this really calm. I think we when we asked Dragona Motoria, our very talented artist and musician, so when she asked what she could do, like what we would want, we what did we describe the atmosphere that we would like to bring? I think we summed it up as a somber autumn hike or something like that, right? do you get these vibes?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see these sort of like autumn leaves on the ground, the sort of like calm, quiet, mostly piano string music. Yeah, it knows. It's I see, and then you have like a different layer fade in for when you get your zoomies, right?
Exactly. That's just 2 different audio files that are playing and that I fade between. But we tried something like that with like dynamic music and fading instruments in and out in a previous jam, but didn't really work that well. Maybe I was just maybe there was not time. So this time we had like 2 different audio tracks. And then Dragona actually she produced a 3rd track that we were. She was like, "Oh, maybe you can use this in the main menu or something like that," but time was short, so we didn't really add a scene for the main menu. That's why basically the main menu fades out and the gameplay begins. So I don't know if there are like some speedrunner strats possible, if you like technically wait before you press play to get the NPCs in an optimal state or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Could be possible to wait before you press play. But we were like, nah, no time, so I added the last track actually in the end. When the time when the screen fades to black, you get this 3rd game, not really game over track, but I don't know, game over is like it's coined so negatively. What is it? end of game, end state.
Yeah, it's just sort of like in credits, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. One thing that I'm very happy with is with the interactions. You can go to the bottom left area of the map in freedom mode, and there you will see a little Easter egg of mine that I've snuck in and nobody noticed. There's like a little congregation of cats.
Okay, I did see that. When I think one of the first, maybe like the second or third time I got the like freedom victory condition.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that the simulation started. Like, I guess it makes sense because I can see like the bones animating here, so I guess the characters are already walking around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see them walking there. So now that
basically
we're
you
back on the
can-
title screen here.
Yeah, you can wait and go for the optimal strat.
Oh my goodness. I can only imagine. Like, this is because of the fact that there are these 50 of these bones. Like, I'm sure there's some sort of traveling salesman-esque route you could plan but to find all of them. And then not just that, but you also have to factor in when your zoomies run out, are you close enough to other things to build them back up? Like another cluster of, oh, like here's a fire hydrant and an NPC in kind of close proximity. Like maybe I can chain these together, but I did that out of order because I should have gone for the NPC first because the fire hydrant's standing still. And
Oh yeah, I love this. We should have added this speedrun mode.
Yeah,
It is-
It's really cool.
That-
When you have the mechanics out, you can really make fast zoomies in. So you can go out of a zoomie and go into the next zoomie really quick. It's,
Yeah, you can just plan where's enough interactions, and then just instantly get it up.
Oh, we could maybe talk about a hidden mechanic where we cheat in the player's favor.
Sure.
With every zoomie that you do, the next zoomie you will get, I think it's increased by 2 seconds up to a maximum, something like that.
They get longer.
Yeah, the zoomies get longer, I think just long enough that you don't notice it. But it is like a game-ending feature, just so yeah, it's not getting too frustrating, something like that.
Got it. No, it makes sense because there's fewer and fewer bones, so you're like trying to look around for them. I think it's a great idea. I always love little mechanics like that where the game is doing something pretty subtle, but it's just making the experience better for the player overall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
also,
something that we really tried to implement for this. Really pay attention to what our playtesters say and just try to modify the game in a way that they find it more fun.
Absolutely.
I see in the chat what would happen if we get like 100 zoomies. It's actually capped. I think there's like a cap of I don't know. I think in per default it's like 10 seconds, and I think it goes up to 15 or something like that. Something just subtle enough.
That's incredible that in the scope of a game jam, you still had the presence of mind to cap the value, because I find very often, like, goodness, you see this even on games, not just in early access, but even released ones. I'm watching a lot of the Let's Game It Out YouTube channel, where one of the favorite questions of the guy is to ask, is there a limit? And he'll just like start stacking physics objects into the sky, and it's like, no, I can just keep on doing this forever, and I can go up so high that everything is not like beyond the render distance.
Oh, that's so funny. You gotta post them in the chat or something like that. I would like to see this channel. I don't know the channel. I don't know them, but sounds fun.
It's funny because it's something that I feel like I've seen this channel in my like recommended YouTube videos before, but I've never actually clicked through to one. But just for whatever reason, I ended up clicking onto his latest video. It's like, oh, this is pretty funny because he is like the ultimate game tester. So it's actually really informative to be watching this video as a game developer and just think like, oh wow, I definitely need to make sure I cap this, make sure the player can't just infinitely dupe something like this. There's oh my gosh, there was one of his videos, just a quick tangent to give an example.
Mhm.
There's a video here called Hydroneer. Never heard of it. The game has you pay for stuff on kind of an honor system where you like pick up an object, put it on a scale, and then drop some coins in a bucket to pay for it. If you try to leave the shop area with the item, then it disappears because you didn't buy it. But if you pick up an item and drop it outside the bounds of the shop, as long as the player isn't carrying the item, it just falls to the ground. And then you can leave the shop, and now the item exists outside of the shop. You can't pick it up, but you can push it. And if you push it over to a different area where you can turn items into scrap, you can now sell the items for scrap even though you never paid for them in the first place.
No, that's great.
Physics engines are like the biggest exploitable game mechanic that exists, and basically every game has them now.
Yeah. So I just dropped the link to that particular video in the chat in case people want to see the exact video. Because the exact thing that I'm describing, there is more to it than that, but I'm just kind of summarizing. And yeah, they are generally pretty funny. He loves torturing NPCs in sim games because, you know, it's kind of fun in a twisted sort of way. But anyway, it is definitely interesting from a developer perspective. It makes you think about the values you never think to cap. Like, so often you hear about like, oh, there's a cap on how fast the character can move forward, but not backward. So there's like that infamous truck rally game that was released even though it wasn't finished, and there's a cap on how fast you can drive forward, but if you
Big rigs.
Big rigs.
That's
I know
it.
what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yeah, you can drive backwards to a maximum speed of -2 times the speed of light. Like it's something absurd like that.
Something like the Source engine with the bunny hopping, right?
Right, but
Yes.
bunny hopping is also because they decelerate the player when he lands, but they didn't pay attention on which direction he is when he lands, so he just gets extra speed when he lands backwards.
Yeah.
Physics engines are hell to deal with when you're trying to fix bugs.
Yeah. All right. Well, but before we get too off the rails here, if anyone has any questions from chat they'd like to ask, now would be the time to do it. And I'll give you all an opportunity if there's any projects you'd like to plug or social media channels you'd like to people to follow you on.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. We basically don't have any social media, and we don't have any games coming out. I think we're like definitely the underdogs in this jam, and we were very surprised that we actually got into the top marks in this. It was a really good surprise.
You can really try out the other games. They are also very good designed. They are partly a bit harder. Some of them.
All the other games that you can see on the screen, these are basically all just game jam games. Game jam games.
I've said that exact same. Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's all just Ludum Dare, and I think if you scroll very, very down to the very bottom, you will get the very first GMTK 2020.
Nice.
Our very first attempt at a game, and then I think we are constantly improving. Let's see what the future holds. So follow me, follow Adrian, follow Patrick on
Itch. Itch is the best way.
Follow us there for more interesting games, for more game jam entries.
Here we go.
I was will also like the other games, I think.
Yeah, give them all a try. Also, follow Dragona Motoria on Spotify. Follow her on YouTube for all her music. I think we will upload the original music to YouTube, There are, I think, for some game jam projects, she has already uploaded the music to Spotify. If anyone is interested, yeah, give her a follow.
Nice. All right. And we did get one question in. Do you do only pixel art, or have you done any 3D artwork?
If there is time, if you have my itch page open, you could check out. I think there's like this Aeronax Trench game that we made that I'm also very proud of. That's in 3D.
Which one?
I think any one of us. We basically do all the game jams.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's the Expedition into the Aeronax Trench, which is like
Oh, yeah.
2D, 3D. And I also Red Mist, that is one that I did myself for the 7-day FPS jam, where I tried to do FPS for the first time.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah, but mostly it's pixel art because it's what we do, what we're best at.
Yeah, totally with you on that.
Yeah. But mainly we just try to improve with every game. Try to really outdo ourselves, not to outscope ourselves. That has happened before.
Right.
And I think just working as a team, like we've been doing this with this close group now for like 3 years, and by now we're very well. Everyone knows what they're doing. We have learned how to do Unity and Git together, which is very important. And yeah, how to avoid merge conflicts with Unity.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
The most important features.
And I think actually like working with each other is also a skill that's improved with the time. Like for example, if I communicate something about the level design with Adrian, and like he right now I'm able to phrase it so that the idea like it's instantly snapping and getting the point across, and vice versa. That's like also very, very awesome.
Nice.
That I like very much.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
Yeah, I'm also able to put my art directly into Unity and upload it into the game and make the levels out of my art so I can see how it feels in the game. So I can adjust some of the art. And yeah, it's a big improvement to really see how it's feeling in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
The workflow in the group is like, and the communication in the group, it's crucial. Maybe one last thing before you boot us out about the art.
Sure,
We started our basically our first step whenever we started jam and we have our idea. We decide on a time map. On a what is it called? A color map. That's like the very first thing we do. So we get our idea across, think about the mood. Adrian has like this awesome thingy, this idea cloud that he's always doing. I love it. Always writing everything down, documenting everything, managing us, so that Patrick and I don't get out of scope.
Yeah, he's reining us in all the time.
But
brainstorming wall.
Yeah, it's good that you do it, because otherwise there would be only chaos.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad that you've been able to sort of refine your process. And yeah, by the way, the LenaF0203 jam is like next weekend. Are you going to be working on that one? Or participating in, rather?
Unfortunately, we're on vacation in that time.
But Niels is
yeah, I think Niels, you're planning, right?
Yeah, maybe I will do like a 2-person jam with Dragona. Not sure. But yeah, it's unfortunate schedule-wise.
Also, this is new. When do they revamp the website like this?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I think they announced it on Mastodon or something. That they completely redid it, and you also need an invite now to create an account. Actually, yeah, they had problems with spammers.
I mean, yeah, they did definitely. So okay, good to know. Well, if you do end up participating in a jam in the future, I'm always happy to take a look at the game. But for today, thank you so much for coming on and talking about Walkies.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your day, and look forward to having you back on sometime soon.
See you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.